Have you ever wondered how successful people really are able to get so much done in the same amount of time as everyone else? Because everybody has 24 hours in a day, but yet these people who are very successful get so much things done in comparison. You're like, how do they do that? How do they do this? I feel like one of the most powerful habits that has gotten me a lot more success or just gotten a lot more progress has been the idea of habit stacking. And I've heard about it from Iman Gadzhi in one of his videos about like his routine or whatever. But essentially it's just creating a routine that allows you to get the most amount of stuff done because you give yourself the least amount of friction or distraction time, I would like to say. And it also makes it easier for you to get things that you don't really want to do tied with things that you already are naturally doing. So it becomes more of a habit, like you almost build a habit out of the routine rather than forcing yourself to do something that you don't want to do, right? And so I would say your routine is something that you have like a system for, right? You do this at this time, you do it at this time, you do this after this, right? Where it's like you almost need to do this. Like it's like a habit for you to wake up and brush your teeth. It's a habit for you to go to bed at a certain time. It's habits and routines are intertwined. Having a good system in order to get things done is a routine of habits. Everybody knows the positive habits that you need to be doing in order to improve yourself, go through like personal development, but it's very hard to always get things done in terms of like starting the habit or maintaining the habit. And that's a huge thing. Maintenance of a habit is a lot harder than starting. It's very easy actually to go to the gym once, but to actually consistently go to the gym is where it actually becomes a challenge, right? But with habit stacking, maintenance actually becomes very easy because you tie things into your natural way of doing things, right? And so if you're like me, you understand all the powerful habits that you need to be doing, but you don't always do, right? And so things like meditation, reading a book, going to the gym, all of these things take effort and time out of your day. And sometimes you might you might skip past it, right? Because they're like, oh, it doesn't matter. But I'll tell you right now, it's almost dangerous for you to break out of your routines when you know those routines are working for you. Why? Because when you break a little, you break a lot, right? Like the whole idea of when it rains, it pours. When something little happens, a lot happens, right? And it can go both ways. So if you start, like, if you ever been through this idea of like, you'll hear about business people talk about it all the time. When they start making a little bit more money, they start making a lot of money, right? Like it feels like how it all happens so fast, but it could also go the other way. It's like sometimes you'll be like saving a lot of money. I haven't spent any money in a long time. Then you spend a little bit like on a meal, and then next thing you know, all these bills start racking up. You're like, wait, how did this all happen, right? It's because when you break a little, you break a lot. You want to find things that you need to do in your routine, right? If you look up any video, there's so much videos on the internet about like self-improvement habits or like habits of highly successful people, stuff like that, right? Meditation, self-work, going to the gym, all these typical things, right? And it's like, the reason that they all say the same things is because they all actually work. The reason they haven't worked for you is because you haven't been doing them consistently enough. Again, you haven't been maintaining the habit, right? And so you need to understand, okay, if these things are working for all these other people and all these other people are also humans just like me and they all also have 24 hours in a day, I bet I can find a little bit of time in my day to do these things. Either it's go to the gym for 30 minutes or meditation for 5 minutes. Like people will say they have no time for this and that. And then you could look at their screen time and it's like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. You tell me you couldn't find 5 minutes to meditate? No, you didn't want to meditate. The thing works, you don't work, right? And you have to remember that at all times. You have to take accountability. That's the only way for you to actually grow and improve. And so for me personally, how I habit stack, some things that I'll be honest, it was very hard. I've been on self-improvement for a while, but it was very hard for me to like actually get into meditation. But there was other things like reading books that became very easy. But it was also very hard for me to like cut out music. When I wake up now, I always make my bed you gotta make these things easy for you to do, right? Because you gotta build trust within yourself. So I make my bed, I stretch and I drink water. Then I brush my teeth and I shower and then I immediately meditate. I don't get ready, I don't do nothing, I meditate, right? Because essentially meditation was hard for me. So in order for me to get ready and get my day going, I needed to put meditation in right there in that slot, right? And so like once you like convince yourself that, oh, I cannot do the next step in my routine until I do this step, it becomes a lot more, you're like, okay, let me just commit to 10 minutes right now. Let me just commit to the 5 minutes of meditation right now, right? So that's what I've been doing. And now I've been doing it for like 30 days, which is like, again, the quality of meditation isn't great, but I'm still doing it, right? As long as you are taking effort and doing it over enough time, it'll naturally get better and better, right? As long as you put more and more focus and effort into it, which will come naturally because nobody likes being bad at anything, right? And so that's like one part. And then when to get my day started, I journal, right? I journal at night, and I've been doing that for years now. But now I journal in the morning because I realize that's when all my thoughts are so potent and they're so strong. It's like after you wake up, your subconscious mind and your conscious mind finally wakes up. So all the thoughts that you thought about, that you implanted in your head the night before, you start thinking about all the answers in the morning, right? That's why it's like very important for you to ask yourself very hard, grueling questions right before you fall asleep, because your mind will look for answers in the morning, right? So that's what I've been doing. But so I would like journal all of this, because once you lay out all your thoughts, it becomes that much more clear and you have clarity, so you can start moving forward and getting the work done rather than just being like drowned by your thoughts, right? And then another habit stack that I do is after I'm done with everything and I have to go to the gym, before I go into the gym, I make like some videos, right? Because I'm like, I like going to the gym, but I know that I need to be making like, content, making these videos in order for me to like get better, progress, get better. And so going to the gym was very natural for me. It's very easy for me. Just like waking up and showering is very easy for me. But the meditation wasn't, and creating the content, I wasn't always consistent with it. So I implanted them right in before things that I liked, habit stacking, right? So now every time that I go into the gym, right, I really do not get out of my car. I do not change into my gym clothes until the content is made. No matter what I do, the content has to be made, and then I go in. That's how it has to be. And then when I go into the gym, I get my workout done, and I consistently, so my workouts are workout, then I either do boxing or I do swimming, right? And I have to do those things. Like it's like non-negotiable for me, right? I do those two things. And for swimming, I do cardio before, and for boxing, I do cardio after. But cardio has been a non-negotiable for 4 years for me. Ever since when I first started in the gym, I did cardio in the beginning, and for some reason, I just never stopped. And now it feels weird if I did stop. So I have never stopped. And cardio is one thing like most gym bros never actually get attached to. It's so good for your cardiovascular health, and it just feels nice when you start doing it. Now I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it all the time, right? So I've always had it stuck in my routine. I cannot leave the gym unless I do cardio. Even if it's emergency, I will literally do a little bit of cardio, which is like a little bit bad on my part, but it is what it is, right? I do the cardio, and this is when I read my book. So I get my 30 minutes of reading done on the Stairmaster as I'm doing my cardio. And then when I get out of the gym, because I did everything, I go to my car and I'm on Duolingo for 5 minutes. But learning a language apparently is very beneficial. I was just doing because I want to learn Spanish to be able to communicate with people better. And then I go home. It's like, they take things that you need to get done and implant them right before things that come natural to you, the things that you enjoy, right? So maybe if you like really like cooking or something, make sure you say, okay, before I cook, I'm gonna meditate, or before I cook, I'm gonna clean my room, or before I cook, I'm gonna organize my desk, right? Things that come natural to you or are easy for you to do, implant the habit before it, right? Why? Because it makes your brain almost want to do the thing as fast and as soon as you can. Even if it's not good, it'll get good over time. You just get yourself to do the thing, and then you're able to go do the thing that you actually want to do. So it's almost like you make the second task the reward for doing the first task, which you know is important and you need to do. If you're able to like understand why all of this works, you're able to build out such a strong set of habits, which creates a strong routine, which creates a powerful system that just allows you to get so much more done than the average person. Even though we all have the same amount of time, we all have limited willpower, we all have limited energy, you're able to get so much more done, and you have so much less friction in between the things that are needed to be done. Like you'll find that you have less time than ever because you just have so much to do in terms of like productivity, right? You're just always getting things done, and like you'll still feel like you're not getting enough done, but when you tell other people how much you do and how consistent, they'll be like shocked, like what the fuck, like how are you improving this fast? And it's like, motherfucker, I track all my time, I make sure everything is getting done, I make sure I instill all my habits right before the ones that come easy. It's like it's almost impossible to lose when you start like thinking in sort of systems like this. Like your life is a system, right? Just like the same way you would approach a homework assignment with a system where like, okay, I'm going to plan this out, then I'm going to write it out, then I'm going to draft it, then I'm going to, like, that's like a system for you. Make a system for your life to get the most amount of productivity out of it. And then you start just naturally, you just start growing, progressing, and just improving. And then in the end, I'm telling you, it's like, it would be like the same way when you go to the gym consistently, you know you're going to get gains, you know you're going to lose weight. The same way you're going to eventually be successful, because you have you have the habits in place for the outcome to eventually happen, right? There's inputs and outputs. The output is to be successful. The inputs are these habits and routines that need to be in place in order for you to have them. If you see all these rich and successful people talk about this idea of, they all talk about the same habits and the same routines. You just need to find one that works for you, and that feels natural, that feels easy for you. Because if it's easy, it's sustainable. And if it's sustainable, you'll do it for a long time. You'll be persistent with it because you won't quit because you actually like it. And you'll be consistent with it because, again, you like it. And that's literally the formula for success: consistency, persistence, and sustainability. You have that formula. Those are the principles. Apply them, find your habits, find your routine, make the system for you. And in the end, you're going to fucking win.